Good morning and welcome to the regular meeting of City Council on Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. Would the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Here.
Mr. Coghill? Ms. Gross?
Here.
Mr. Mosley?
Here.
Mrs. Cale Smith? Here. Mrs. Strasburger?
Here.
Mrs. Warwick?
Here.
Mr. Wilson?
Here.
Mr. Lavelle, President?
Here.
8 members present.
Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our next order of business is to amend the agenda. Is there a motion to amend?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The agenda has been amended. We'll move on to proclamations. We'll begin with Councilman Wilson.
Thank you, President. Okay, will Amy Stevenson and her family please come to the front? Okay, someone might come up here. Okay.
Oh, okay. I know Sam well. So we're just waiting for her son, Sam Stevenson, to also come into chambers. So that's for the slight delay.
Bad things happen. Yeah, pleasure meeting you too. Congratulations. I was reading my dad went to Allegheny, but it was quite some time after he went. Yes, he went. What's that? He went to Allegheny High School, yeah. He was born in 56. Okay, thanks for your patience, everyone. I just want to make sure that we had everyone from the family that wanted to come and celebrate. So in District 1, we have a tradition of whenever someone makes the milestone of turning 100 years old, we like to celebrate it. And I thank Pam Collier from the mayor's office who I just want to thank Pam Collier from the mayor's office that made sure that we were going to do this recognition. And also, it's great to see many of you all. Last time we were together was whenever we put a sign for a new street name, the honorary street, which is named after Roger Humphreys, who we have in our presence here. And today, we are here to celebrate Amy Stevenson, as I mentioned. And whereas Amy Stevenson was born on March 8, 1925, the parents Lawrence G. and Mary E. Humphreys attended Allegheny High School and graduated in 1942. And whereas following high school, Amy pursued her passion for fashion at the Pratt Institute of Fashion Design in New York City, honing her sewing skills and working as a design sketch artist for prestigious fashion houses, creating designs worn and adorned by elite clientele and celebrities. And whereas upon returning to Pittsburgh, Amy established herself as a skilled uniform manufacturer in Bloomfield, gaining recognition as a prom dress designer, attracting clients from across the region, seeking her unique custom-made gowns. And whereas in 1997, Amy became the first African-American woman to receive a product license from Major League Baseball, designing items auctioned for the Roberto Clemente statue dedication, and later opening her third retail store housed at PNC Park. And whereas Amy's greatest joy is her family, 2 children, Samuel, Tawana, and Sharon Edwin, 6 grandchildren, 9 great-grandchildren, and 1 great-great-grandchild, and 10 siblings. And whereas for over 90 years, Amy has been a dedicated member of the Metropolitan Baptist Church, singing in the choir and serving in the missionary society. She is also a member of the Order of the Eastern Star and Heroines of Jericho, where she held leadership roles as the worthy matron and secretary for many years. Now therefore be resolved that City Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby celebrate Amy Stevenson on the milestone of her 100th birthday and thank her for the service to our city. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare March 11th, 2025 to be Amy Stevenson Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
May we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Congratulations and happy birthday.
Okay, at this time, I would like to ask family members to speak on any thoughts or any sort of cool stories from the past. But before that, Amy, would you like to?
I thank you very much. I'm a little hoarse this morning. So much celebration. I'm just lucky I can talk. I can't even remember some of them who was at the party. But I thank God I was able to wake up and see them, be able to walk and talk. I thank the Lord so very much for this day and hope I shall see many more.
Incredible. Thanks. Thank you.
You want to say something?
I do. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm Amy's brother. I'm her youngest brother. There was 10 of us, 4 girls and 6 boys. And it's amazing that I was very much encouraged in my life for playing music, okay? And there's a picture, man, that I do believe it as I got older now, but there was a picture that was taken by Teenie Harris, the photographer, and I was like in elementary school. But Amy, when she came back to Pittsburgh, because I was her little younger brother, she made me some clothes all the time. Dig it? And that picture that I have when I was 4 years old, it was the outfit that she made me, and I was in Mary Jane College School. And she's always been so beautiful, peaceful. You know, the love of her, man, has made me who I am. We don't find anything negative. If there's a problem, Amy always try to fix the problem. And always smiling all the time, and I thank God for that, my sister, and that was a gift that was given to her. That's why she's so jolly, you know, with her art form and everything.
Good morning, everyone. I am the son, Sam Stevenson. It has been quite a journey for this lady. She's seen a lot of things. She's been through a lot. She's persevered through a lot. And she's come out on the other side victorious almost every time. She's my hero, and I look forward to 100 more.
Well, my name is Sharon Watkins. I'm her daughter, and we just thank everyone who has joined us in celebrating her 100 years. It's been a blessing to have her, and if I can make it to 100 and be as sweet and kind and loving to others as I approach that, it will be a double whammy blessing in our family. So once again, thank you very much for representing our district and acknowledging this lady who, I always tell him, his dad knocked on the door of our house like 10 times. And I think she answered half the time and said, yeah, we're going to vote, we're going to vote. Okay, so thank you again.
Let's do it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Stacy. Happy birthday to you. Would members like to come up for a picture?
Mr. President, I'll give him a green button.
I wish they were still living. I haven't seen that.
I was wondering, did the guy died?
He doesn't have a written proclamation that day,
And Councilwoman Smith.
I don't remember. Okay.
but do you want me to come up?
Please. Will the women from Women in Data Science please come forward? Oh, you remembered your green. I have a Mr. Yuck button. I said I'm going to give it to anybody who doesn't have green on. Is Adam here? No. Oh, is he? Oh, okay. So I want to thank Adam Cosgrove from my district for making sure that you're recognized every year for the amazing work you do, and Councilwoman Strasburger, whose district you're actually in, and she's actually you're on the board of CMU? No, but she does a lot with CMU. Whereas Women in Data Science, WIDS, Pittsburgh is back at Carnegie Mellon University for its 7th annual conference to be held Thursday through Friday, March 13th and 14th. And whereas the conference takes place against the backdrop of Pittsburgh, a vibrant hub for a community of experts in statistics, data analysts, and machine learning who are dedicated to pioneering new methodologies and technologies, spearheading cutting-edge data science research. And whereas the WIDS Pittsburgh is the only women-centric data analytics conference in Western Pennsylvania. The conference is open to the public and is free to high school students, providing them an opportunity to see possibilities in this field. And whereas the purpose of WIDS is to inspire and educate data scientists worldwide, regardless of gender, and support women in the field of the conference. The conference features exclusively women speakers from academia and industry. And now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby commend Women in Data Science for providing inspiration, education, community, and for being the catalyst to unite the region's data science community. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare March 13th and 14th, 2025 to be Women in Data Science Days in the City of Pittsburgh.
May we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
I'm going to Councilwoman Strasburger. Councilwoman Strasburger.
Well, congratulations. I know that this is something that you do with Pittsburgh as a backdrop every year, and I think there's just no better way to showcase the talent, both the homegrown talent and the talent that we attract to Carnegie Mellon and to the greater region because of Women in Data Science. So thank you for your work. Thank you for holding it in Pittsburgh every year and showcasing the talent that we have. Congratulations.
Would you all like to say a few words?
Thank you, Council, for bestowing this proclamation upon us. We are quite honored. The women to the side of me here work with me all year. My name is Jessie Albright. Getting this off the ground and really showcasing Pittsburgh as a beating heart for statistics, data science, AI, machine learning. I think because we all live here, we may take it for granted the amazing opportunity there is and all the fast-paced innovation that's happening. So thank you very much, and we hope to see you Thursday and Friday.
Do all the members want to come forward for a photo? I love your hair blue, but next time on St. Patrick's Day, we're going to have a green, okay?
Everybody want a little tray here? Right here, real quick.
I am who I am. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, you too. Okay. The moment a lot of you have been waiting for. St. Patrick's Day proclamation. Everyone for St. Patrick's Day. And Peggy Cooney, please come forward. Come on, everyone. St. Patrick's Day, people, come on. The court, everyone. Okay. Okay. Who said that? Okay. To tell them to use it? Okay. Thank you.
Councilman?
Just so you don't get sick, if you're this high, you should not be in the back of the second row.
Run between them coming here instead of him, right? Okay.
I'm just going, I'm gonna come. Right side here.
Is that it? Mary Beth, Peggy, come on up. Come up. So if you know that the St. Patrick's Day Parade is one of the biggest parades in the city of Pittsburgh and in the country, celebrating the Irish heritage across the country. And I will also say that a lot of the people that volunteer here do so from our district, District 2. We have a lot of people here, but we have people from across the city of Pittsburgh. It's one of the days where everybody's Irish, even including this Lebanese girl. So they let me celebrate once in a while with them. But I remind them I did birth a couple Irish kids, okay? Anyway, whereas the Pittsburgh St. Patrick's Day Parade proudly presented by the Irish Society for Education and Charity, Incorporated, is scheduled for this Saturday, March 15th, 2025. This year's parade is led by Grand Marshal J. Mac McCafferty. Is he here? No, I didn't see him here. Okay. Mac has served on the Irish Center of Pittsburgh's board for 35 years, including roles as vice president and treasurer. For over 30 years, he has been a dedicated member of the St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee and is also active in several other Irish organizations. Whereas among the honored participants of the Ancient Order Hibernians, Man of the Year is Ed McManus, and the most honored participants is 2025 Miss Smiling Irish Eyes, Queen Melanie Grace Rell. Did I say that right? Okay, good. Rell. And Miss Smiling Irish Eyes Court Maidens, Reese Maggie Flowers and Elizabeth Rose Fitzgerald Sweeney. Boy, that is definitely Irish. And whereas Miss Rell, the daughter of Christopher and Mary Mellon Rell of Mount Lebanon, is currently a junior at Trinity College in Connecticut. She has been awarded the Trinity College Presidential Scholarship and is recognized for her honor studies, English composition achievements, and outstanding academic performance. Melanie is studying the Irish language and drafting her senior research project on the Irish community's historic and cultural impact on Pittsburgh. After graduating from Trinity, she plans to pursue graduate studies in Ireland And I'll tell you, my daughter went to Ireland, all she came back with was a potato soup recipe. And whereas the court maiden Reese Maggie Flowers of North Hills is currently a freshman at Chatham University, where she is majoring in psychology and minoring in environmental social work. She resides in an honors LLC and graduated from North Hills High School last year with a 4.4 GPA. And whereas court maiden Elizabeth Rose Fitzgerald Sweeney of the North Hills is a senior at Avonworth High School, where she maintains a 4.5 GPA and is a member of the National Honor Society. She has participated in the Catholic mission trip through Divine Mercy Parish to Jamaica, where she served disabled children and adults. And now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby recognize the Pittsburgh St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee and thank all of the organizers and participants for making Pittsburgh nationally known as having one of the biggest St. Patrick's Day celebrations in the country. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare March 11th through the 17th, 2025 to be St. Patrick's Day Parade Week in the City of Pittsburgh.
May we have a motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
And you notice we have St. Patrick's here, and when he touched our door, I did see a little bit of lightning. Hi, good to see you again. You want to say a few words?
Thanks so much, Councilwoman Kale. My name is Jim Lamb. I serve in Pittsburgh as the Honorary Consul of Ireland, and it's my honor to accept this proclamation on behalf of the St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee and to all those behind me and in the community that work to bring this parade together and to continue to promote Irish culture in the greater Pittsburgh area. So on behalf of everybody, thank you so much.
Here. I'm going to pass around the microphone. You can all introduce yourselves. Okay?
Hi, I'm Kevin Conboy. I'm the parade chairman of this grand St. Patrick's Day parade we put on in Pittsburgh. I'm an honor to be the parade chairman. We're a 100% volunteer group, and we put on the second largest parade in the United States for St. Patrick's Day. So I'm just so proud of our group and our different committees. Mary Lou's the head of Miss Smiling Irish Eyes, and she does a wonderful job. We're going to have 500,000 people here on Saturday because we're going to have beautiful weather. We got some really neat entries into the parade this year. We got the Wienermobile, we got Punxsutawney Phil back, we got more bands than ever, we got more horses than ever. It's going to be a great day for the Irish.
Good morning. Kevin said it all here. I am honored today to introduce the three young women who have truly shined bright. So with further ado, I am thrilled to announce Miss Smiling Irish Eyes in her court for 2025, court maiden Reese Maggie Flowers. Reese is a daughter of Heather Clunan and Kevin Flowers and is from the North Hills. Reese is currently a freshman at Chatham College. Would you like to say a few words, Reese?
This is really an honor for me to even be here. I never really thought I would do something like this because I never even knew what Miss Smiling Irish Eyes was until a few years ago. But my Aunt Trish was Miss Smiling Irish Eyes back in her day, and it's really awesome to honor my grandparents and for their Irish heritage, and having my Nana here with me is really cool, and I'm so glad to have her here, and I know my grandpa's watching down on us.
I am also honored to introduce court maiden Elizabeth Rose Fitzgerald Sweeney. Elizabeth is a daughter of Katie and Teddy Sweeney and is from Ohio Township. Elizabeth is currently a senior at Avalon High School. If you'd like to say a few words.
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. Thank you to the council for being here today. And I'm so excited to just show my Irish heritage and be here with my family and loved ones.
And it's my honor to introduce Miss Smiling Irish Eyes, Melanie Grace Rail. Melanie is the daughter of Mary Mullon and Christopher Rail. Melanie is currently a junior at Trinity College in Connecticut. If you'd like to say a few words, Melanie.
I would just first like to thank the council for having us here today, and I can't even begin to express how incredibly grateful I am for the opportunity and the honor to represent the Pittsburgh Irish community as 2025's Miss Smiling Irish Eyes. I would like to thank both the Miss Smiling Irish Eyes Committee, the Parade Committee, and the Irish Society for Education and Charity for granting me such an incredible blessing and honor. And I really hope that I can live up to the amazing ideals of the Irish community and that we can make this parade as amazing as possible. So thank you.
Ed McManus, would you like to say a few words being the high burning of the year?
I'll try a few words here. St. Patrick's Day Parade, I remember it as a kid, I guess about 60-some years ago. It was the first time I marched in the parade. I often wonder who these guys in these sashes riding in cart. Actually, this year I'm very honored to have been picked as the High Burning of the Year. Very grateful to the county, or the city, excuse me, for declaring this week St. Patrick's Day week. And again, thank you for everything. Thank you.
Does everybody else want to introduce themselves?
St. Patrick.
Okay, no one else wants to introduce themselves. All of a sudden, they're shy. We're going to do a photo after we have one more proclamation for the late Peggy Cooney. So I'm going to read this one first. And do you want to come forward? Bobby. Now, I'll just tell you, Peggy Cooney was part of the Madigan family. And if you know Oakland, you know the Madigan family. And you know that they are throughout the area. But one thing I'm really happy about is Peggy and Bob moved to Westwood and lived there for a long time. So I'm going to make sure I mention, that part, because we were so happy to have you both there and honored for all the work that you've done in our communities across Pittsburgh. Whereas Peggy Margaret Cooney was a lifelong resident of the city of Pittsburgh, where she graduated from St. Paul Cathedral High School and St. Francis School of Nursing. And whereas Peggy joined the Ladies' Ancient Order Hibernians in 1974, where she held various offices throughout her years of service. In 1985, she was elected state president of the LAOH, succeeding her mother, then President Sarah Madigan. Her dedication and leadership ultimately led her to serve as national president of the organizations. And whereas Peggy founded the Allegheny County Claddagh Degree Team and served as its director from its inception until her passing on October 19, 2024. She also took the role as chairperson for Miss Smiling Irish Eyes program within the Pittsburgh St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee, a position she held with dedication until her death. And whereas, in addition, Peggy was the chairperson of the Irish Society of Education since the 1990s, as was her brother, Martin Madigan, until his passing. And whereas Peggy had a deep love for her Irish heritage, embracing its tradition, music, laughter, and camaraderie, which she enthusiastically promoted at every opportunity. She was an icon of the Pittsburgh Irish community and nationally with the LAOH and AOH. And now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby recognize the late Peggy Cooney for her contributions to the Irish community. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Tuesday, March 11th, 2025, to be the late Peggy Cooney Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
May we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Yeah, Peg, she loved doing the Smiling Irish Eyes, and she loved the St. Paddy's Day Parade. And it's a little tough trying to talk about my baby. I just want to thank you guys. Thank you very much for recognizing Peggy.
all members please join us for the photos?
He's here for the photo.
Some of us have day jobs. I just got out of court.
You
want to get in there?
You good.
Ladies,
We have such. So we're not going to find out how you do at the end.
Ladies, you want to go right here real quick? Ladies, right here. Can you come over here next to Teresa? No, the young lady who just took the photo in the gray.
I'm right here. You want to stand down here? You can stand in front of me. Well, he's tall. Can you take them back? Thank you very much. This is Missy, Melissa, Ross. Missy, Rossiter.
Yours, ours is
Absolutely.
hardened.
I still have this. I think I just turned over.
I had something like that one too.
Council members, we have a reception in the back after the meeting. Can you go back to
The other place, IBW. It's like that.
I thought she did, but she sat down, so. With that, we'll have one to be read into the record, one proclamation to be read into the record by Councilman Charlin.
Now therefore be resolved that in recognition of the social impact of St. Henry's Lyceum for the residents of Arlington, Pittsburgh, that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare March 8th, 2025 to be St. Henry Lyceum Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
May we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Proclamation has been approved. That takes us to will of council. First, we have one to be presented. Councilman Charlin.
Hey, is that Natalie? She moved to my district. She lives on.
All right, we're doing some willing of council today. So I have one here that's important to me, and I think to most members here. I'll read through this, and then we'll have Natalie and Co say a few words. But whereas in 1992, Pittsburgh City Council enacted a ban prohibiting the use of devices that cause pain and suffering to animals, such as those used in rodeo events. And whereas last year's Pennsylvania state budget included a preemption passed without transparency or discussion that stripped Pittsburgh and other municipalities of their authority to regulate rodeos, and thus the undue stress, injury, and suffering of animals in these events. And whereas House Bill 492 of 2025 has been introduced in the Pennsylvania House, and Senate Bill 412 of 2024 in the Pennsylvania Senate to repeal the rodeo preemption language and restore local authority over enforcing humane policies. And whereas repealing this preemption will restore the City of Pittsburgh's commitment to ensuring the humane treatment of animals and stands with local advocates and animal welfare organizations who promote the ethical and humane treatment of all living beings. And now therefore be it resolved that the City of Pittsburgh supports House Bill 492 and Senate Bill 412 and urges the Pennsylvania legislature to repeal the rodeo preemption language, restoring Pittsburgh's ability to enact and enforce humane policies for the welfare of animals and public safety.
May we have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. The will of council has been approved.
Thank you, Councilman Charlin and members of council. We as advocates and you as members of council work too hard to pass policies to have our autonomy stripped away. So we hope that this will of council is one step in Pittsburgh getting its autonomy back. And thank you again so much. I think my friend Matthew would like to say a quick word as well.
Thank you, Council. And I represent the Christian Animal Rights Association. And state legislators dealt Pittsburgh a major injustice through a stealthily passed preemption on regulating rodeos back in July. The main reason our ministry opposes rodeo is because the Bible explicitly condemns hurting animals for entertainment. And one of the reasons I'm proud to call Pittsburgh home is that it was the first city to effectively limit cruel instruments used in rodeos back in 1992. And I want to thank the Pittsburgh City Council for endorsing this will of council, which is the first step in restoring the regulations on rodeo tools the city and our ministry is so proud of.
And we have two to be read into the record. Councilman Strasburg, I'm assuming you want them read separately?
Correct.
And do you just want the whereas?
Correct. Just the
Okay.
whereas is fine. Thank you.
Councilwoman Erica Strasburger presents, now therefore be resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh urges Congress to prevent cuts to Older Americans Act and other aging programs, ensuring continued support for critical services such as nutrition assistance, in-home care, and protective services. And be it further resolved that this council calls on Congress to safeguard its authority over federal appropriations and prevent any executive action that would freeze or override funding for essential aging services.
May we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Discussion, Councilman Strasburger?
Thank you. Yeah. So I think as council members know, we have a post agenda on older adult wellness coming up in 2 weeks on the 25th at 2:30 p.m. And I hope everyone will be able to attend. But in the course of planning that, it came to light that there was an urgent need for advocacy at both the state and federal level. As we know, funding is critical for supportive services for aging and older adults, and it's currently threatened right now. So thank you for council support for advocacy at both of these levels.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The will of council has been approved. May we have the second one?
Councilmember Erica Strasburger also presents, now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh urges the Pennsylvania General Assembly to increase funding to the Penn Care beyond the governor's proposed $20 million to adequately support life-sustaining services for older adults, and be it further resolved that the council calls on the state leaders to release existing lottery funds dedicated to senior services, ensuring older Pennsylvanians receive the care and support they need.
May we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, Councilwoman?
No,
Okay.
that covered both.
All
wills of
those in
council.
favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The second will of council has been approved. That takes us to public comment. I would like to remind everyone the rules of council state that comments are limited to matters of concern, official action, or deliberation which may be before city council. Profanity will not be permitted. After you are called, please restate your name, provide your neighborhood for the record. You'll be given 3 minutes to speak. Our first registered speaker is Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller.
Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller, Oakland, also Santiago, Chile. March 2025 is Latin American Intelligence Month, which I founded in 2010. Chile is where the government pays for college tuition for all eligible students. Global Intelligence Society candidate for President 2028, globalintelligencesociety.org, and Global Information Intelligence Network.net. In the early 2000s, I became a member of the Council for European Studies, Columbia University, the American Anthropological Association, which has a direct link to the Society for Latin American Anthropology. Concerns of Council include supercomputing and cybersecurity, which links with our allies, should anyway. This is consistent with my Initiative 6 country alliances and city allies, particularly precarious right now. Pittsburgh, USA has a supercomputer center, which is overseen by CMU and the University of Pittsburgh. Santiago, Chile has a supercomputer center overseen by the Universidad de Chile, Les Raro. The USA has a highly networked cybersecurity entity called Cyber Command, CC, which is located in Pittsburgh. Chile has Cyberseguridad, a grid that is more loosely configured. Chile Supercomputer Center has a very strict demarcation between military, scientific, and information intelligence gathering uses, but the U.S. American Supercomputer Center operates in connection with Cyber Command very fluidly to do whatever it wants, whenever it wants. One function of the CC is to scan for cyber, which means computer, web, and AI threats to U.S. American military bases. The Cyber Command cannot do so in Chile, Mexico, and Ukraine because they have 0 U.S. bases, but Germany has more than 20 of special importance, is Ramstein Air Force Base, which is the core of NATO defense. This is the most serious threat to the Russian Federation. Ukraine is a sideshow. Deutschland is the main show, and this affects Pittsburgh. If NATO goes under, the USA loses control of the bases in Germany, allowing rearmament of the largest demography and economy in Europe. A U.S. National Executive Order for Cyber Command Pittsburgh to downsize personnel and to degrade cyber counters is affecting our people in the city of Pittsburgh.
Thank you. Our next registered speaker is Zasha Minifield. I don't see them online. Is Zasha Minifield with us? If not, our next speaker is Renetta McKinney, or Renita McKinney. I also do not see online. Is Renita McKinney with us? If not, our last registered speaker is Ralph Williams. If you're speaking, we cannot hear you, Mr. Williams. There we go.
Now, President Lavelle. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Thank you. Now I'll start over. My name is Ralph Williams. I live at 803 East Warrington Avenue in the Allentown section of the city of Pittsburgh. It was a great pleasure last week to come down live to the city county building to see everybody there at council chambers. It was nice to meet up with the regular speakers down there that are normally there. And it was nice to talk with Councilwoman Warwick as well. Main reason I'm talking today is over the weekend, in case no one is aware, there was a big debacle downtown with a bunch of youth, 75 youth running all over Pittsburgh, downtown Pittsburgh. And you know what? That's a shame. And what I want to understand here is, and I get right now there's not a whole lot of leadership here because of the Chris Ragland resignation. But what I'm frustrated about is the fact that the SWAT team wasn't called in. There was nothing done to get these youth arrested. There was nothing done to get them put in Adelphoi Schumann Center or at the county jail or anything. All they did was kept moving them along. I heard it on the scanner. Okay, moving along. I was downtown once, many years ago, when there was a bunch of youth running around throwing stuff and doing things. Moving them along doesn't work. Okay, we got to get law and order in this town. It has to happen. Downtown, first of all, that event that you had downtown shouldn't even have been going on, that festival. Okay, we need to get downtown fixed up, cleaned up, and law and order before we decide to have another festival like we had this past weekend with 75 youth running all over the place. That's out of order. And whoever's in charge of city planning, I think this council needs to haul them to the carpet, because why would you plan an event when you don't even have the security to provide for the event? All right? That makes no sense at all. What happened last week with Chris Ragland, I do acknowledge the fact that you had a meeting on Wednesday, and I want to compliment some of the comments that were made by city council here. And, it's not your fault what happened. It's just a fact that maybe perhaps, as you said, maybe Chris Ragland couldn't handle the job. And you stuck to your guns. What I mean by that is you decided not to have a chief until the election is over, so you could save the taxpayers some money. And I want to congratulate you for that. All right? Until next time, have a great day.
Thank you very much. That exhausts our list of registered speakers. If there's anyone in chambers wishing to speak, please come forward at this time. Provide your name and neighborhood for the record.
morning. My name is Javon F. Brown. First, I wanted to start off by saying that I usually walk to town. So I walk coming up past the BNY Mellon building. Now that sidewalk has been messed up for months, but it's done and it is beautiful. It looks excellent. And I did say to some of the men, I said, you did a good job. I know how it's supposed to be edged and how good it looks. That's one thing. Number two, Donna Lewis, she's one of the residents that had lived in my building. There's 190 apartments in the building. Now, Donna Lewis, when I became aware that they told me that she was dead, it made me remember what she had said. She had told me, I'm going to be the next one dead in this building. When she was on the elevator with me, she said to me, I heard you went to corporate about Rashida McKinley. And I said, Rashida and also the management has been giving me a hard time. She said, well, Rashida shouldn't be allowed in the building. And the fright that she had in her eyes, because Rashida had beat that woman with a hammer, her and her daughter. Months later, there's another Rick, a resident, standing outside talking to another resident. She ran and got a stick and beat this man all in his head, and he was hollering, why are you doing this to me? I found out later this man has cancer. This man has cancer. I've been coming down here telling you about what we've been going through. Do you understand that they had corporate to come to the building? Well, my daughter was there, and she stopped the woman when she came. She said, before this meeting, I want you to understand that Rashida McKinley is harassing and terrorizing and beating the people, and she's messing with my mom. I want you to understand that I'm tired, and you have dropped the ball. When I called the police, because she's covering up her face, they say we can't prove it's her, but she made sure I knew it was her. She's in lost weight, but she had her face covered and a mask and glasses. And I looked back because I thought it was her, and she said, yes, it's me. Tell your daughter to call the police. I'm in the building. And we did. And you know what the police said? It's corporate and Petite who has dropped the ball. This woman is threatening us. It's hard. You know what? Dr. Miller tells me, don't say about me being an older woman, being old. But in July, I will be 79. I've lived in that building 10 years. She's 5 years she's been banned, but she can come in because you are not trying to do anything about it. I told you, Mr. Lavelle.
Thank you very much, Ms. Brown.
The old people are scared. You understand?
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Thank you, Ms. Brown.
All of you should go to jail.
Thank you, Ms. Brown.
We shouldn't have to live like this. Being beat in the building.
Next speaker, please.
Good morning, Special Agent Sunshine. The real one. There's a lot of copycats out here who want to be me real bad. They're taking my face and my voice and creating whole different platforms, trying to make the world believe that they're me, and they're not. The FBI know who I am and who I'm not, and so does the Most High God. Lord, thank you for divine intervention, for being the truth and the life. In Jesus' name, amen. This morning, I was threatened by a woman named Unique, who it's just a coincidence to me that you have a daughter also named Unique, but you say she's not the same person. This person screamed at me, "You're not getting my money." I don't know this person. She publicly admits that Unique is not her real name. I publicly admit Cerise A. Taylor is not my real name as well. My identity was stolen by somebody in the government. They stole my inheritance trust and money that was left to me in a will. Now, I don't know what money this woman is talking about, but whatever it is, she's trying to connect me to it. So we'll just have to dig a little bit deeper and find out what she's talking about. It doesn't matter who changed my identity. The Most High God and the FBI know who I am and who I'm not. God renamed me Special Agent Sunshine because of the light that I'm shining on this heinous injustice and fraud in our government. It's amazing. It's amazing to me. I just want to talk a little bit about the impact of a godly influence. Namely, Daniel in the Bible. He wasn't intent on being popular. He was committed to doing what was right in the eyes of the Lord. And when he had to face consequences for choosing the unpopular course of action, he did so with a calm and trusting spirit. So many people want me to go to court and sue whoever stole my identity, and I've already filed a complaint. I'm not going to fight for anything that already belongs to me. That's a waste of my time. What I am going to do is come in here and be a blessing to the world. Proverbs 19:8 says, "The one who gets wisdom loves life. The one who cherishes understanding will soon prosper." Proverbs 11:29 says, "He that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind, and the fool shall be servant to the wise of heart." I will continue to pray for Unique, whatever she's going through. Lord, forgive her. She know not what she has done, if she is the one who has stolen anything from me in my name. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. My present name is Jacob Poole, and my previous name was Zoltan Jolt Jakob. That's because I was brought here by force from Eastern Europe in the 90s during the Soviet Union collapse and Yugoslav wars, when American organizations created children's camps on the sidelines of those conflicts. And I was in that from 1986 to 96, during which time I was given new identities, and along with thousands of children brought to America for child exploitation, slave trade, child slave trading, and forced labor. So presently, I'm in the Pittsburgh area in that condition. You know, everything around me is manipulated. Documents, medical records, information, identity, everything is totally manipulated by these organizations that brought me here by myself as a child. Child slave traded me here. And that's how I exist. So I actually tried to create a website called ijakab.news so I can document my existence in the Pittsburgh area and others that I know are here from Eastern Europe, brought here from conflict zones by force as children or as adults who live in the Pittsburgh area in forced labor conditions, in captivity and slavery. And the Western PA and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, by the federal government is recorded as being number 9 in child trafficking and human trafficking. And I'm part of that world in the Pittsburgh area, unwillingly, because child slave traders rounded me up in Eastern Europe in the late 80s and 90s, put me in children's camps, changed my identity, and slaves shipped me to the Pittsburgh area. So that's how I live here. So I see all that world in here. It's thousands and thousands of people. Someone told me that just from the Yugoslav war, Soviet Union collapse era, 60,000 people were brought to the greater Pittsburgh area, the Pittsburgh metro, from conflict zones like I was. Just from that. And they exist in this secret slave world in the background. I have medical procedures done to me when I was a child, when I was 12, 13 years old. I have scars all over my body, and I presume them to be slave trading procedures done because I don't have medical records for them, and they were done to me in the greater Pittsburgh area by these underground organizations operating slave trading. So I go to the doctor's office, I go to UPMC buildings and I tell them, hey, I have these child slave trading scars on my body done to me by organizations in the greater Pittsburgh area, bringing me here as a child from Eastern Europe by force with alternate identities. And they say, well, we're not going to give you any medical records for those things. So these are real things. And every time I go in public, people are trying to force me out from being in public places because I'm supposed to be a secret person working in the background somewhere, in secret. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Next speaker, please. Seeing no further speakers, we'll turn to the presentation of papers, beginning with Councilman Charlin, Chair of Human Resources.
No new papers, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilman Coghill, Chair of Public Safety and Wellness.
No new papers, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilwoman Gross, Chair of Innovation, Performance, Asset Management, and Technology.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilwoman Gross presents Bill number 1581, Resolution amending Resolution 621 of 2020, authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Innovation and Performance on behalf of the city of Pittsburgh to enter into an agreement or agreements and amendments thereto with ERP1 Consulting, Inc. for the provision of services including professional services, consultation, and day-to-day managed services of the City of Pittsburgh J.D. Edwards Enterprise 19.2 application by increasing the approved amount by $300,000 and extending the agreement for an additional 3 years for an amended total cost not to exceed $850,000 over 7 years. Bill number 1586, Resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of permits, licenses, and inspections for the issuance of a warrant in favor of Building I, Inc. for the purchase of their software and related support services for an interactive map, that internal and public visual display of planning permit license and violation data at a cost not to exceed $20,000.
And Councilman Mosley, Chair of Intergovernmental Educational Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Councilman Mosley presents Bill number 1587, Resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Office of Management and Budget and the director of the Department of Public Safety to enter into an agreement or agreements with Allegheny County and the United States Department of Justice for the purpose of receiving grant funds from the 2024 Burn Justice Assistance Grant in an amount not to exceed $51,614 to purchase a real-time asset management technology platform. Bill number 1588. Resolution authorizing a cooperation agreement or agreements providing for the transfer of funds not to exceed $80,000 to the City of Pittsburgh Equipment Leasing Authority for the purchase of vehicles for use by the City of Pittsburgh Park Rangers. This expenditure is associated with grant funds that the city will receive from the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development's local share account statewide. Bill 1589. Resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure on behalf of the City of Pittsburgh to enter into a cooperation agreement with Pittsburgh Regional Transit for post-construction ownership, access, and maintenance of certain city steps to be constructed around Downing Street in the 6th Ward, City of Pittsburgh, no cost to the city. Bill 1590, Resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Public Works and the director of the Department of Finance to enter into a temporary construction easement agreement and or related agreements or amendments with the Urban Redevelopment Authority of Pittsburgh for the purpose of allowing the URA and its contractors and subcontractors to access city-owned property at 9 Mile Run in Swiss Elm Park during the URA's slag heap remediation project at no cost to the city. Bill 1591, Resolution authorizing the Pittsburgh Land Bank to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, and into the publicly owned property in the 12th Ward, City of Pittsburgh, Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County, Block 125B, Lot 46, 0 Lincoln Avenue, Council District 9, at no cost to the city. Bill 1592, Resolution authorizing the Pittsburgh Land Bank to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, in into the publicly owned property in the 26th Ward, City of Pittsburgh, Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County as Block 77N, Lot 321, 115 Hawkins Avenue, Council District 6, no cost to the city. Bill 1593, Resolution authorizing the Pittsburgh Land Bank to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, in into the publicly owned property in the 26th Ward, City of Pittsburgh, designated in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County as Block 46G, Lot 206, 435 East Burgess Street, Council District Number 6, at no cost to the city. Bill 1594, Resolution authorizing the Pittsburgh Land Bank to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, in into the publicly owned property in the 25th Ward, City of Pittsburgh, designated in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County, Block 46R, Lot 109, 1907 Meadville Street, Council District Number 1, no cost to the city. Bill 1595, resolution authorizing the Pittsburgh Land Bank to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, in into the publicly owned property in the 26th Ward, City of Pittsburgh, known as Block 46K, lots 129 and 130 in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County, 2314 and 2316 Perrysville Avenue, Council District Number 6, at no cost to the city. Bill 1596, resolution authorizing the Pittsburgh Land Bank to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, in into the publicly owned properties in the 26th Ward, City of Pittsburgh, designated in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County, Block 46G, Lot 41 and 42, 2417 and 0 Osgood Street, Council District Number 6, at no cost to the city. Bill 1597, resolution authorizing the Pittsburgh Land Bank to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, in into the publicly owned property in the 26th Ward, City of Pittsburgh, Deed Registry Office is Block 46B, Lot 90, 2526 Perrysville Avenue, Council District Number 6, at no cost to the city. And Bill Number 1623, resolution authorizing council's consent to an extension pursuant to 922.05E of the Pittsburgh Code of Ordinances and the Zoning Code of the deadline for the City Council to act to hold public hearings on Council Bills 2023-1698 and 2023-1723.
Thank you. Councilman Mosley?
Motion to waive Rule 8 on bills 1590, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, and 97.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All bills will appear on tomorrow's standing committee agenda. Is there another motion you would like to make, Councilman Mosley, relative to Bill 1623?
Oh, no. Or unless you have some information I don't. I'm sorry. I've been sick the last couple of days.
That's okay. We've all been going through it. This is the bill that came over from regarding zoning in your district from planning with just 5 days for us to act. And so I thought you wanted to make a motion to extend.
Waive Rule 8 on 1623 as well. Sorry about that. Like I said, I've been.
No worries.
I got that stomach bug. It finally caught me.
No worries. If someone would offer a motion to pass finally so that we can extend his timeline for this.
Motion to pass Bill 2025-1623 finally?
Yes.
That's the motion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Second.
All those, actually, we need a roll call vote for that. Sorry.
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Mr. Coghill? Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Cale Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President?
Aye.
8 ayes.
Thank you. The bill is passed finally. That takes us to Councilwoman Cale Smith, Chair of Recreation, Youth, and Senior Services.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Teresa Kell Smith presents Bill Number 1598, resolution providing for the issuance of a warrant in favor of Fence Screen LLC for the purchase of a sound screen for Moore Park pickleball courts in the amount of $9,671.17.
And Councilwoman Strasburger, Chair of Finance and Law.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
What is this?
Councilperson Strasburger presents Bill Number 1599, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Spillman Thomas and Battle, PLLC, for expert legal services in connection with the litigation matter in the United States District Court for the Western District of Pennsylvania for an amount not to exceed $65,662.52 over 1 year. Bill 1600, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Dominique DeCenzo and her attorney, Max Petrunia, PC, for a single payment in 2025, amount not to exceed $5,000 in full and final settlement of litigation filed in the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas. Bill 1601, Resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of West Banco Bank in an amount not to exceed $3,800 over 1 year in full and final settlement of a claim for damage to the drive-through canopy of their property at 5000 Center Avenue from a Domi Traffic Division vehicle on September 6, 2024. Bill 1602, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Edward Torak in an amount not to exceed $6,250 over 1 year in full and final settlement of a claim for damage to his vehicle from an accident with the City Public Works vehicle on July 22, 2024. Bill 1603, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Verizon Pennsylvania, Inc., care of CMR Claims, STPA, in an amount not to exceed $4,521.70 over 1 year in full and final settlement of a claim for damage to a utility pole at 2600 Sunset Avenue and Essex Street by a City of Pittsburgh Environmental Services vehicle on December 16, 2022. Bill 1604, resolution amending Resolution 446 of 2024, which allocated an additional $50,000 to the agreement with Frost Brown Todd LLC by authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Finance to extend the agreement with Frost Brown Todd LLC for legal assistance relating to real estate, public finance, municipal law, and as-needed consultation by adding $50,000 for a new total not to exceed $250,000. And Bill number 1605, ordinance amending and supplementing the Pittsburgh Code Title II Fiscal Article 9, Property Taxes, by creating a new Chapter 264, Tax Exemptions for Longtime Owner Occupants of Residential Properties.
Thank you. Councilwoman Warwick, Chair of Public Works and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Warwick presents Bill number 1606, resolution authorizing the mayor, the director of the Office of Management and Budget, and the director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to enter into an agreement or agreements with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for the purpose of receiving grant funds from the Automated Red Light Enforcement Grant Program in an amount not to exceed $335,981.88 to replace the traffic signals at Center Avenue and North Dithridge Street. Bill 1607, resolution authorizing the mayor, the director of the Office of Management and Budget, and the director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to enter into an agreement or agreements with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for the purpose of receiving grant funds from the Automated Red Light Enforcement Grant Program in an amount not to exceed $647,049.45 to replace signals at the intersection of East General Robinson Street and Sandusky Street. Bill 1608, resolution granting unto BH Venture One LP, their successors and assigns, the privilege and license to construct, maintain, and use at their own cost and expense, at no cost to the city, new permanent building foundation that will extend into the right-of-way at 1406 Fifth Avenue, 1st Ward, 6th Council District. Bill 1609, resolution amending Resolution 249 of 2023, which authorized the mayor and the director of the Department of Public Works and the Department of Finance on behalf of the City of Pittsburgh to amend and renew the lease agreement with Beaver Avenue Associates LLC by continuing to provide a leased space at 1301 Beaver Avenue, Pittsburgh, PA, for the purpose of housing the Facilities Maintenance Division of the Department of Public Works by extending the term through March 31st, 2028 with the new property owner at 1301 Beaver Avenue, LLC, managed by the Regency Transportation Group, Ltd.
And Councilman Wilson, Chair of Land Use and Economic Development.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Councilman Wilson presents Bill number 1610, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of City Planning to enter into a professional services agreement and/or contracts with HR&A Advisors, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $300,000 for work on the Federal Emergency Management Agency's Flood Mitigation Assistance Grant for Sawmill Run Boulevard. Bill 1611, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of permits, licenses, and inspections for the issuance of a warrant in favor of the Franco Harris Pittsburgh Center at Penn State for the purchase of the National Green Infrastructure Certification Program training at a cost not to exceed $8,000. And Bill number 1624, resolution authorizing council's consent to an extension pursuant to 922.05.d of the Pittsburgh Code of Ordinances of the deadline for the Planning Commission to act to recommend approval or disapproval of Council Bill 2024-0959.
And Councilman Wilson. This is for your extension for the North Shore zoning.
Yeah, I appreciate you recognizing this. You want me to make comment, or is there an official action?
Motion to pass finally, to extend your deadline.
Motion to pass finally. Sorry, I thought maybe this goes to Wednesday, but motion to pass finally.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Roll call vote, I apologize. I forget
Mr.
that.
Charlin?
Aye.
Mr. Coghill?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Kell Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger?
Aye.
Ms. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President?
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you. And for myself?
Is it one of them? What I just read?
Council President Lavelle presents Bill number 1612, resolution appointing Tammy Thompson as a member of the Housing Authority of the City of Pittsburgh Board of Directors with a term to expire March 26, 2029. Bill number 1613, resolution appointing Charlize Smith as a member of the Housing Authority of the City of Pittsburgh Board of Directors, term to expire March 26, 2029. Bill 1614, resolution appointing Jayla Rucker as a member of the Housing Authority of the City of Pittsburgh Board of Directors with a term to expire December 31st, 2028. Bill 1615, resolution appointing Rasula Muhammad as a member of the Housing Authority of the City of Pittsburgh Board of Directors, term to expire December 31st, 2029.
And we need a motion to interview or to approve.
Motion to interview, please.
Is there a
Second.
second? With discussion, Councilwoman?
Just discussion. I did notice that there was not, that they're replacing Alex, who was the only representative from our district that's on there. And we talk a good game about wanting to do things for the immigrant community, the gay community, the veterans. He's all of the above, and yet we're taking him off of the Housing Authority Board. So I have a lot of concern with that, so I'm ready for the conversation for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? We'll work with the clerk to get it scheduled. What I will say is that this will probably be, you want to have the conversation, it'll probably be a lengthy conversation, which
It's
means
gonna
we
be.
should probably do it separate than prior to our standing committee agenda. So we'll work with the clerk to hopefully maybe get it scheduled for like a Tuesday at 1 or something along those lines, so that we're not holding up our regular meeting for a very long housing authority conversation. All right. And now I have two communications.
Bill number 1616, communication from Jake Pollack, Director of the Office of Management and Budget, submitting City Council the attached status update from the Grants Office for the week ended March 7, 2025. And Bill 1617, communication from Jake Pollack, Director of the Office of Management and Budget, submitting an acting pay request on behalf of the Controller's Office for Michael Visnick, per the acting pay policy revised in June 2018.
And I need a motion to read, receive, and file.
Second.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The bills will be received and filed. Our next order of business is reports of committee for final action, beginning with Councilwoman Erica Strasburger, presenting the Committee of Finance and Law.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilperson Strasburger presents Bill number 1580, reported to Committee on Finance and Law for March 5, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1532, resolution amending Resolution 603 of 2024, authorizing the mayor and the city solicitor to enter into a professional services agreement with Fisher Phillips LLP for legal services in connection with issues involving labor disputes, by increasing the cost by $150,000 for a new not-to-exceed amount of $210,000 and adding 1 year for a new contract term of 2 years. Bill 1533, Resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Dickey, McCamey, and Chilcote, P.C. for expert legal services in connection with a litigation matter in the United States District Court for the Western District of Pennsylvania, filed in an amount not to exceed $54,082.90 over 1 year. Bill 1534, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Comer Miller LLC for expert legal services in connection with the litigation matter in the U.S. District Court of the Western District of Pennsylvania, filed for an amount not to exceed $35,109 over 1 year. Bill 1535, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Summers, McDonald, Hudock, Guthrie, and Rauch, P.C. for expert legal services in connection with the litigation matter in the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Pennsylvania for an amount not to exceed $41,590 over 1 year. Bill 1536, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of the Major Cities Chiefs Association in an amount not to exceed $7,500 for payment of annual member dues. Bill 1537, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of the U.S. Marshal Service in an amount not to exceed $8,900 to return seized funds in accordance with the case filed in the United States District Court, Western District of Pennsylvania. Bill 1538, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms in an amount not to exceed $9,220 to return seized funds in accordance with the case filed in the United States District Court, Western District of Pennsylvania. Bill 1539, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of the U.S. Marshal Service in an amount not to exceed $6,428 to return seized funds in accordance with the case filed in the United States District Court, Western District of Pennsylvania.
You've heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when her name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Mr. Coghill?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Cale Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick? Mr. Wilson?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President?
Aye.
9 ayes.
The bill, having received the required number of votes, is passed finally. Councilman Wilson?
Yes, may I register aye votes for all remaining bills?
Duly noted. That takes us to Councilman Anthony Coghill presenting the Committee on Public Safety and Wellness.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Coghill presents Bill number 1585, reported to Committee on Public Safety and Wellness for March 5, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1531, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Public Safety to enter into a clinical affiliation agreement with Community College of Allegheny County to enact a precepting program allowing students to learn professional skills from city employees in the Bureau of Emergency Medical Services for training and educational purposes at no cost to the city.
You've heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion? Councilman Coghill.
Yes, Mr. President. I have a request from our Public Safety Director, Lee Schmidt, and from the Bureau of Fire to recommit this bill.
Okay.
So I'd like to make a motion to recommit.
Is there a second?
Second.
I don't believe we need a roll call vote, or do we? We do? Okay, roll call vote.
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Mr. Coghill?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Cale Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Wilson? Mr. Lavelle, President?
Aye.
9 ayes.
Thank you. The bill will be recommitted to tomorrow's standing committee agenda. That takes us to Councilwoman Barbara Ward presenting the Committee of Public Works and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilwoman Warwick presents Bill number 1582, reported to Committee on Public Works and Infrastructure for March 5, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1541, ordinance amending the City Code of Title IV, Public Places and Property, Article 1, Public Right-of-Way, Chapter 417, to permanently adopt the sidewalk and curb repair program to provide assistance to eligible property owners. And Bill 1542, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Public Works to enter into an agreements and/or amendments with the United States Army Corps of Engineers for the purpose of geophysical surveying by the USACE at Arsenal Park at no cost to the city.
You have heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Mr. Coghill?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Mosley? Mr. Mosley? Mrs. Cale Smith?
Aye.
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle?
Aye.
9 ayes.
The bill, having received a legally required number of votes, is passed finally, and that takes us to Councilperson Robert Charlin presenting the Committee on Human Resources.
Councilperson Charlin presents Bill number 1583, reported to Committee on Human Resources for March 5th, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1529, resolution amending Resolution 655 of 2023, entitled Resolution Authorizing the Mayor and the Director of the Department of Human Resources and Civil Service to enter into a professional services agreement and/or contracts with Pittsburgh Event Child Care for professional services in connection with on-site child care being provided to the City of Pittsburgh employees during the days that school is not in session. Additionally, off-site child care will be provided for those attending community events sponsored by the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services and providing for the payment of the cost thereof by increasing the total amount not to exceed $45,000 for a new total cost not to exceed $90,000 and extending the program for 1 additional year. And Bill 1530, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Human Resources and Civil Service to enter into an intergovernmental cooperation agreement or agreements with the County of Allegheny and Partner for Work for the shared operation and administration of the Learn and Earn Summer Youth Employment Program for the calendar years 2025 through 2027 at no additional cost to the city.
You've heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill, vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Mr. Coghill?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Cale Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President?
Aye.
9 ayes.
The bill, having received a legally required number of votes, is passed finally. And finally, we'll have Councilman Bobby Wilson presenting the Committee of Land Use and Economic Development. Councilman Warwick for Councilman Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Councilman Wilson presents Bill number 1584, reported to Committee on Land Use and Economic Development for March 5th, 2025, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 1543, ordinance accepting 5 new street names: Cole Seam Street, Darby Street, Lucas Court, Lucas Street, and Petrel Street in the 5th Ward, City of Pittsburgh, as per recommendation by the City of Pittsburgh Addressing Committee. The following street names were approved by CPAC in January 2025. The names listed in this ordinance shall be made official in accordance with the Pittsburgh Code Title IV, Public Places and Property, Chapter 420, Uniform Street Naming and Addressing. And Bill number 1544, ordinance accepting a new street name, Riley Street, in the 16th Ward, City of Pittsburgh, as per recommendation by the City of Pittsburgh Addressing Committee. The following street name was approved by CPAC in January 2025. The name listed in this ordinance shall be made official in accordance with the Pittsburgh Code Title IV, Public Places and Property, Chapter 420, Uniform Street Naming and Addressing.
You've heard the reading and title of the bill. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill, vote aye when name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charlin?
Aye.
Mr. Coghill?
Aye.
Ms. Gross?
Aye.
Mr. Mosley?
Aye.
Mrs. Kell Smith?
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger?
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick?
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President?
Aye.
9 ayes.
The bill having received the legally required number of votes is passed finally. That takes us to motions and resolutions. Anything from members? If not, that takes us to meeting announcements. This afternoon at 1 o'clock, council will hold an executive session on Bill 1603 as it relates to litigation matters. Tomorrow, Wednesday, March 12th at 10 a.m., council will hold our standing committee meeting. Speaker registration will close at 9 a.m. To register to speak at this meeting, please fill out the sign-up form on the council meeting webpage by the deadline or call the clerk's office at 412-255-2138. Motion to approve the minutes and adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.